give you the markets update now, and global stocks and the U.S. bond yields dived this morning while the dollar, gold and oil prices rocketed higher. Now, not much room for the local budget to have made a mark. For more of a comprehensive analysis of what is driving the markets in early trade, we're joined by Makwe Masilela, Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers. And Dr. Masilela, thank you very much for your time. It's the one question that I suspect it's on everyone's minds. It's the geopolitical mess that we are seeing this morning. How have the markets opened in early trade?
You are right, Colin, and good morning to you and the viewers. It's more of a mess more than anything, and as expected, the JSE opened down more than 2%. And remember, this sell-off is happening after the deepening sell-off that we saw yesterday. We know that yesterday the markets got a serious speed, so unfortunately it's not working for the markets. And as you said, intro, we are like of your oil, your gold, they're the ones which are benefiting as it now. Maybe we need to understand that Russia and Ukraine, those two countries, they account for around 29% of the global wheat export, 19% of the global corn supplies, and 80% of the sunflower oil export. So it's not just two mere countries. So this has got serious impact, and other shipments might have to use other routes, not have to go via the Black Sea. So this has a potential to be very serious.
Let's talk oil prices. It's probably one of the biggest talking points as far as commodities. The prices there creeping up to over $100 a barrel for the first time since 2014. Talk us through those developments.
Remember, already we've got a tight supply, and Russia itself, they're the world's second oil producer and the second, crude exporter. I mean, the guys on a daily basis, they send out almost 5 million barrels a day. That accounts to almost 12% of the global crude trade. So they are a very serious player. And as we said, it's happening at a time where already we've got issues about supply. We had some hopes when it comes to the Iran oil supply coming to the market, depending on the nuclear talks. But as it is, it's either the sanctions will drive prices up, or people will damage the infrastructure as they fight, or Russia themselves, they can weaponize the energy and say we're not going to be sending anything through to any countries. And Russia, as it is, they supply almost 35% of the natural gas when it comes to Europe.
Sure. Let's talk company news. Discovery publishing its interim results for the 6 months, which ended on the 31st of December 2021. How have they performed?
The guys have been doing very well, more resilient more than anything. Remember, Toli, the guys, they serve a better kind of a market where people understand the importance of having your life cover, your policy, stuff like that. So a slight irritation doesn't make people to cancel those kind of policies, and Vitality is doing very well for them. And you just look at their net insurance premium revenue, it managed to grow by 11%, their net income up 15%, and profits from operations up 43%, and also impressive was their profits as headline earnings per share up 78%. But because the guys are not too certain about the remaining issues when it comes to COVID-19, they've decided not to declare a dividend.
Yeah. Distill results also out. How are their numbers?
Good results as well. Also look at the group revenue up almost 15.8%, the volumes up over 12%. South Africa continuing to do well. You look at their revenue up 22.9%, sales there off up 15%. Africa, given that they had some channel closures and export challenges, not doing that bad. It's only the international market which didn't do that great, but their EBITDA is up 10%, their profit as headline earnings per share up 17.5%, and because of that transaction between themselves and Heineken, the Distell also is not declaring any interim dividend.
Yeah, let's conclude the conversation on a slightly controversial note. The embattled fishing group, that's Oceana, has confirmed that the financial watchdog, that's the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, has launched an investigation into the group's affairs. Perhaps what is on people's minds is whether or not we are looking at yet another Steinhoff or Tongaat saga that's brewing here.
It's possible, Cole. Remember, we base our investment decision on the information that we get from the company, so it has to be very accurate. So the minute you start inflating stuff, as we've seen with the previous two companies you mentioned, then unfortunately you are not doing us any good. So I think it's a good thing, given that you've seen that the CEO resigned, the CFO also had to resign, and the guys have been delaying the release of their results, and hence they're facing a suspension of their trading when it comes to the JSE come the 28th of February, but apparently they're continuing to engage with the local boss for that not to happen.
Makwe Masilela, Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers, thank you very much for your insights.